CSBET.GG guarantees to show the actual drop rate with precision to the hundreds. Find the best skins only in cases at CSBET.GG.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. It is the GG.BET Sydney Invitational. My name is Dinko. I'm going to be joined by Mitch, man, and we're going to see the high seed teams come into the mix today. We've got OpTic Gaming, a new look, a fresh team, coming up against forZe, who have been pretty consistently in that top 30 since December. So this should be an interesting one.
Indeed, it should, and already starting out on Mirage, of course, the map pick of forZe. We saw them here yesterday, taking a narrow lead over Devils.1 in the best of 3 series, rather, earlier on. The victory in that series overall led them right to here. This round already going live as forZe make their way towards a little bit of mid-control, and an A split is on the cards.
Well, MSL, the new in-game leader for OpTic, is going to be holding stead as he gets himself a double kill. Facecrack and Flit finished off. Config is there for one as well. And Amazr and Jerry into the 2 versus 5. There's Jerry finding the headshot onto Nico. Damage down onto Snap. He's down to 32 HP. And Amazr and Jerry, they're going to have to try and work their way out of this hole. A couple of the OpTic players are low. Snappy and Config on 15 and 20 HP. MSL is sub-optimal health as well. 43 on board. We'll start to make this work. Almazr hits the headshot onto MSL, so now it's on to Snappy and Config. Problem is for Jerry, he is only 8 HP himself, and so he can be dropped very easily by these two OpTic players. They will just hold. Snappy will pick up the headshot onto Jerry. It's 1-0 for OpTic Gaming, and a good start from the Danes. I think for this team, Mitch, I think obviously they've come into the roster. If anybody is unaware, we've got MSL and Nico being added, and it is Danish Nico. It's not the Bosnian beast we know, but it is Nico from, he's played in pretty much every Danish team at this point. He went North, OpTic, I think he's been everywhere at this point. He's in OpTic again with MSL. I think this team isn't finished yet though, Mitch. It's kind of strange having Snappy and MSL into the team. I still feel like there's going to be more changes coming to OpTic Gaming, but right now it's starting to shape up to be a pretty interesting roster.
Well, it could be results dependent if they can clock up a decent win here, get themselves the position in IEM Sydney that's up for grabs as well. Things will be looking good for them. Of course, only starting it off on Miragi with a 2-0. It's not.
Just call it Miragi.
Miragi. That's the one.
So since Cash is out of the pool,
Cash.
Yeah. So since Cash is out of the pool, you just got to call. You've got to say some sort of map wrong.
Yeah, there's got to be a new one, right?
Yeah.
This is the one.
Well.
Semi-finals, look, they've got a long road ahead of them to make it all the way, but with a 2-0 lead, things are looking good already. Starting to stomp forZe into the ground a little bit, but here's where forZe answer back with a full economy, full AK-47s alongside Util. OpTic go for some very aggressive middle control early on. They won't spot anybody out though, as forZe are creeping their way towards that B bomb site where they look to make these AK-47s rain down some fiery lead on Snappy, who's caught up close on the truck, but they've jumped over him. Only walks away with one though.
Yeah, the rest of forZe are arriving in towards the B-bomb site. OpTic have rotated on in. It's MSL to pick up the kill on the AUG. Almazr answer right back on Nico, and we're back into a 3v3. Oh, a kill from Almazr off towards the kitchen, through the wall, but Config answers back immediately. Nice answer for forZe either. Losing a player. Jerry now is stuck inside a default. They know exactly where he is. They know where that bomb is being planted. Molotov comes in as well. Jerry is gone for it. He will burn alive in the Molotov from Refresh. It's on Z part to try and win a 1 versus 2. Sit on the back of the site, peeked right into Config. We will pick up the kill onto Z part. That is it. 3-0. An excellent start here from OpTic Gaming.
Indeed, repelling that first buy round gives you such a hefty advantage. Now, I think more so when you're on the T side, because it's often nice to just build up that confidence early on. Sorry, especially when you're on that T side, it's where you can get beaten down and really find yourself struggling towards the middle of the game to get yourself on the scoreboard. For OpTic right now, though, a 3-0 lead means almost certainly a 4th to come in, although forZe do call a timeout, and with lots of money to play with, we could see some kind of variation on their A-take we saw in the pistol round. They certainly can purchase up a lot of pistols, get themselves some heavy utility as well. and start to close off the angles and make sure they can isolate some counter-terrorists. I think the pause here is probably a decent shot, a decent call altogether, just because of the ability that bits of utility, if they decide to invest into it, could bring them. It takes a nade. I'm assuming we're going to see some smokes.
Yeah, I think we can also kind of start to talk about OpTic, you know, their changes, what this kind of means for the team. Obviously, they've been struggling for quite some time. Snappy had a lot of back-end at the start and really hasn't produced results for this OpTic team, and it was such a big esports brand. You're going to expect OpTic to want to be at the top, fighting for the top spots and championships as an organization, and they just really have never found that team that works for them. And they do have a lot of money, they have a lot of resources they can go to, and now they've picked up MSL, probably the second best Danish IGL out there. Obviously Glaive is probably the best in-game leader in the entire world, so MSL, an excellent in-game leader. I'm interested to see what he can do with the pieces that he's got on OpTic, you know, back to working with config again. He was very, very good under MSL, and I am looking forward to seeing what he can do again here on the OpTic team. Although this is a great start from forZe. Almaze are getting a headshot onto Snappy. Jerry has one as well. Zpar walking in with a kill. Config and MSL into a 2v5.
Very little focus on utility in this round. It's all just been about cracking faces, and the face cracker himself finishes off the second last player over towards the A bomb site, leaving MSL all alone with an AWP. And this is not an easy situation for him at all. Even saving becomes very difficult. forZe now have majority rifles in play, and they're completely surrounding him, despite not knowing his position. Once he drops one player, he's going to be in a world of hurt. So it becomes about playing a little bit more passive and trying to stay alive. A second kill connected, though, as Zpar goes down, and perhaps a chance to save this AWP into the next round. Flit with the nade lined up. Low HP on MSL. He does avoid the nade. Oh, it's a Molotov. Okay.
Yeah, he just walked into his own fire.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. Config, obviously finds that one funny as well. MSL does hang on to the AWP. Face crank, bit questionable.
How does he save that? How they had him surrounded. They had weapons. Like that. All things aside, that's huge for OpTic now. Look at how much they've denied forZe from saving over. Yeah,
that is definitely a lot of rebuy coming through for forZe. Obviously, MSL getting to hang on to that AWP. I think they're trying to wield that for success. Flit early might just drop to the AWP. MSL going for this right up through the apartments. There's the kill onto Flit. And a good start here for OpTic, picking up that early kill. And MSL doesn't even care. He'll walk through the fire and flames away with his kill.
Only the one up for the CTs, but it is still a bit of an advantage. Like you said, MSL being able to walk through the flames, perhaps save his team from what could have been a very awkward spot if forZe picked up this round. It still remains to be seen, though. We're going to need a couple more shots to be hit, because over towards the B bomb site, Snappy has only got a UMP. And it looks like he's going to have 4 terrorists to deal with. It's like a Starbucks employee at lunchtime. Never going to be an easy road. Utility coming over on B. The flashbang's heard. Rotation begins. Nico's coming in from kitchen, but Snappy's the man of the hour. He's the one that's got to get the work done. UMP up close. 2 on the board already. 3 bullets left, but he still takes the third kill. AWP now in hand. He can't find the kill because Nico's there, but it doesn't matter. Snappy, absolutely beautiful play, and he manages to keep that round in the hands of OpTic. That could have gotten very awkward if he fell. Nico would have been out of position, stuck in like a 1 versus 3 kind of situation on the bomb site. Bomb goes down, maybe a 3v3, and the retake on B is not optimal. Then OpTic give no money for the next round, and a lot of bad things could have happened, but forZe not able to get the round on the board, and now find themselves just a couple pistols in play.
What an incredible stop there from Snappy. I'm sure most of his highlights we've seen have all been on SMGs. He seems to get a lot of kills with the UMP, the Mac-10, all sorts of SMGs, but here comes the rush in towards Snappy. It is the forZe team looking hungry for some kills. Snappy a hold, Config gets 2. Snappy in behind the bench, can't get anything done, but luckily for OpTic Gaming, Config was alive, but it's in a 3v3. Nico trying to get his way back in, and again forZe finding success on the pistols towards the B bomb site. This is starting to show a bit of a weakness here for OpTic, perhaps. But in the last round, they would have sent a complete flip reverse. So a bit back and forth here. Nico will pick up Flit. AWP from MSL. Can't quite get that kill fast enough. And so looks back. It's Jerry with another frag. It's all on Refresh, who gets one. Having to come in with a clutch. It's one more player to find, but Zpar hits the headshot. The Deagle gets force 2. And that's an incredible round again. Just on the low buys, Mitch. What's the point in them buying weapons?
Well, look, this is it's a weird scenario. Not what you usually see. The sort of CZ go coming into play. Before is doing so well on those pistols. Yeah, I think just drop the AKs.
Yeah.
Take the Eagles. Why not?
They're working for them.
Pushing towards top mid here. Look at Nico. We talked about this the other day. We don't see a lot of teams taking the aggressive top mid control. They try it here on the OpTic Gaming side, but no flashes to help out Nico. He just gets spotted by the op and off with his head. config picks up the M4 and gets the hell out of there, dropping his UMP, I believe it was, in the process. But talking about dropping, Refresh out of the game, taking out Impalas, and a two-man advantage now for forZe to work with. You can see them already angling towards that A-bomb side.
Well, this time forZe will not make the mistake of winning one and then losing one right away. They'll just try and keep everything possible, making themselves have 3. Although Snappy, Config, and MSL are still alive as they sit back on the bomb sites and wait for this push. Config is in a great position. If they can't deal with him quickly, Config could actually end up doing a lot of damage here onto the T side. He's just going to sit back towards the ramp. He has actually fallen back a little bit, now trading his eyes towards Palace, and the push is about to come through from forZe. They know that smoke would have come from close, and this is where the push starts to come in towards the ramp. Multiple players running towards him. Config gets one, dealt with by Jerry right through the smoke. MSL picked off one with a sniper, but Zpar is looking to take his number. He will hit the shot, but MSL has not fallen yet. He still wants to frag as he's up towards the top of the stairs. Snappy will come in to assist him as well. AWP holds the cross. Almazer in behind the triple stack, and Snappy just holding the long range angle. At this point, MSL is doing a lot of work. They're gonna have to try and find a way back into the site with no kit, and Snappy nowhere to be seen. Probably best he just tries and gets the AWP out of here and a couple of exit picks, because it will be another round for forZe.
Yeah, I think that pick from MSL through the box was almost a curse. Because as soon as you find that, that's where you stop going. Like, you could see he was backing off. They were going to go for the save, but then finds the kill. Okay, maybe we can go for this. Dies in the open. You're going to lose another weapon because of that, and it hurts the CT side more than it would hurt the Ts. But then it did hurt the Ts to lose that weapon. The bomb planted and now exploded. There's plenty of money left on the team to drop over 2 weapons, allowing Almazar and FaceCrack to get a full buy. Flit obviously has money as well. But take a look at OpTic. Another AUG would have certainly helped them out in this round, and indeed a set of armor. Was they're pretty much stuck with what they have now. You may see some minor investment, but really you're not going to see anybody below like $1,700 for the next round, if even. I think just bare USPs as they're doing is definitely the right call.
Yeah.
Investing 300 is not worth it into a nade or a P250, whatever, versus what you can expect to accomplish with it.
I'm interested to see what Snappy can do here, because they're starting to pressure him towards middle. Already up towards short is FaceCrack, already clearing these angles, has assistance from his teammate with the utility. forZe just want to get 4 here to even that scoreline. Obviously OpTic would love to steal away one here with barely any investment at all. Actually, basically none. So save as much money as they can. And as they go over towards B, this is where Config will get tested. He only has a USP. He will just get the info. At this point, he's just begging for help. As the utility comes over the top in towards the B site, he'll not get anything, I'm afraid. It's actually Snap who's rotated on over. He will pick himself off 1. He looks for a second kill. It's all about getting rid of this problem, though. They don't need to push him. No need to peek. Bomb planted. Everyone in a good position. Snappy retaking 1v3 there on the B bomb site. Impossible to get in there, so I think at this point, again, it's just save time, try and get that AWP into the next round. And currently, FaceCrack is over towards the A side, so he might take away Refresh. Again, not too much on Refresh that was worth value, and nice Snappy under a lot of pressure just to save. They will start to come in towards him. And it's kind of important that he does save this ult, because they won't be able to afford it. He will get the Molotov in, flashbang there as well. FaceCrack knows that he's obviously towards the side of the map. It will be Snappy picking that one up. 2 players facing him. He just won't be able to get it over into the next one. Jerry takes away his head. It's 4-4. And forZe, they will even the scoreline. Starting to shape up to be an interesting matchup, as we probably expected.
forZe not letting them carry over the AWP this time, instead of jumping on Molotovs. And 4-4, look, things are looking good for the T side, building up the rounds despite losing the pistol and indeed the first full buy round. No problemo for them to be selling a scoreline. Problem is, OpTic now with a full buy, they've got their M4s out. We didn't see too much damage for them with the pistols. And indeed, without an AWP in play, I think that's going to be a decisive factor in favor of forZe. But the other side of the coin is that they're not losing a player towards top mid early on. They're running down the clock a little bit. You know, we're just coming up on 30 seconds into the round. And by this point, it seems like OpTic have just constantly been a man behind, or at least into a 4v4. They'll be happy enough defending these bomb sites. Relatively heavily stacked towards B. I mean, Nico was almost rotating through the window. The Snappy finds one. Jerry returns onto Nico. It's the window player opened up, and now this splits both bomb sites very heavily. The defenders don't really have any fast rotation, so it puts a lot of pressure on these guys to make sure that they're not just finding one kill and falling whenever a push comes in. Speaking of the push, you can see forZe starting to shift focus a little bit. They were spread out. They were playing a bit of a blanket approach to the round, but coming in through the apartments, Flit's got the bomb, and he's up nice and close. Jerry and Almazar on their way in as well. And still plenty of utility as they look to make this execute happen. Like I said, it can't be one-for-one trades at this point because MSL and Refresh are so far away from the B bomb site that if it falls in a 2v2, that bomb timer is going to tick down, the T's will be dug in. This has to be at least 3 players dropped in favor of OpTic.
Yeah, well, Config's going to hold first. He has a crossfire with Snappy if needed, but it's not needed. Config eventually falls, but it's Snappy to step out. Can't get the kill. Somehow runs out of ammo. And that is very, very poor from Snappy. Refresh and MSL left in a challenge here. They've got to come back into the site. MSL charging in from short. Tries to take away Z-Power, but that's the kill. All on Refresh. Low HP on one. There's the headshot. Refresh usually doesn't put a foot too wrong here, so... looking for the kill on the Z-Power, and he'll find it as well. Good clutch there from Refresh. Builds the team up, and that'll be OpTic in the lead once more. And funny enough, you know, OpTic, yes, they started to lose a couple there. But the only runs you have to realize that they've lost in the gun rounds, Mitch, have been rushes towards the B-bomb site and low economy buys from forZe. And obviously OpTic have been on that CT side, and so forZe are consistently doing damage early to them with the pistols. That causes them to rebuy, and being a CT is a bit more expensive, so they did run out of money early, and that allowed forZe to build up a little bit of momentum. But when it's come to the gun rounds, gun versus gun, it's pretty much been OpTic edging it out every time. Yes, in the clutches perhaps, and in the close scenarios, but they're still winning, and that's the important part.
Absolutely, and the other side of the coin as well is that, or rather the same side of the coin, is that forZe have got the benefit of when they get the bomb planted, they get a little boost of economy to all players, but that's not really possible on the CT side unless you let the bomb go down. Get your defuse. So, looking at things, OpTic 5-4. They're ahead at the moment. They've been winning the gun rounds. We've got another buy round in play. I think they did well in the last round as well. Although they only found the 2 kills on the initial hold, they delayed them long enough. Like, forZe weren't going out for a fast push. They sent 2 through with 2 playing further back, utility support, and they were kind of just assuming they'd get the bomb site so that they could stay in apartments and have that control when they planted for it. So there was enough time for OpTic to get the rotations, for Refresh and MSL to rotate around and make sure that they are... Was it Refresh and Config?
Coming back into the side now. Config was the man holding. He was the first to open up those 2 kills.
Yeah, so I'm just confused because MSL is now playing the B bomb side. I was doubting myself for a second.
He's been playing pretty dynamically when he's got the AWP, which is definitely a thing that OpTic can use to their advantage. Yeah,
I'll keep them guessing, right? There's an AWP A, let's avoid him. Going to B apartments, boom, taken down by the pixel angle. And Nico's taken down first. SG, Krieg in play. Now the push comes towards the A bomb side, a weakened defense, but Config's in a sneaky beaky position. And they need to make sure they check this.
Yeah, Config just sitting down towards Ninja. It's actually MSL picking up a kill on the other end of the bomb site, but Config strikes into action. One kill only coming through though, and that'll allow Flit and FaZe into the bomb site. Flit will take away Snappy and look for a second kill. He'll get it alongside FaZe, who gets himself a frag as well. 5 apiece here, and this sort of back and forth playstyle and inconsistent Counter-Strike from OpTic is going to result in their economy being broken not more than once. You know, they're going to find themselves on the eco quite often, especially on that CT side. So technical pause should I say, coming through. It's Jerry having some TeamSpeak issues over on the forward side of things. They're going to try and get that resolved, and this actually comes at a good time for OpTic, where things could start to spiral out of control. They can sort of calm down a little bit, and obviously being online, Mitch, it's hard to sort of enforce the rule set that you can't talk in a technical pause. So they'll most likely just take this like a tactical, gives them a little bit of a breather, and they can try and reconsider the CT sides.
Indeed, and it gives them a little bit of a moment to breathe, like you said. Jerry better hurry up fixing his TeamSpeak, or OpTic might have a game plan figured out. Thing is, though, it's probably not for this round. USP's in play for the majority. MSL probably going to keep his money so he can get that AWP out. So, kind of wonder, for OpTic, I mean, they're already going down, presumably 6-5, unless they can manage to come out with a round. And I don't really have a lot of faith in it. You know, when we see pistols come out, sure, they can cause upsets, but when it's USPs, it's unlikely. And so 6-5 down to start it off. Again, considering the fact that they won the first gun round, they won the pistol round, I think forZe are going to be really happy with where they're at right now. Considering this is their map pick, we do want to see them with a strong performance, and starting it off well on the T side, there's no better way. They also get to build themselves up a little bit of money, because remember, if OpTic don't find any kills here, well then forZe don't have to reinvest all too much. Only the utility that they burn up in this round puts them in a very nice spot later on.
Yeah, well, OpTic seem to want to go for a bit of a charge up towards short. They have currently 4 players positioned towards the B-bomb side immediately. Early kill comes in from Zpar towards middle, and Zpar gets himself a second. FaZe wants a piece of the action himself, though. He will spam away and get away with a kill onto Nico and Snappy. And the final kill will come through from Flit, who was very hungry to pick up Refresh. It's 6-5. forZe head into the lead, and OpTic, like I said earlier, MSL has just come into this team. He's an excellent in-game leader, but how much practice will they have had? You know, finding a way to get their CT setups in play. They're going to obviously have a couple of errors, and they're going to have to change things up a bit. So we'll probably not see the fully fledged OpTic here in this game. You know, they're going to be completely different within a couple of days. And I also said I don't think this project's just exactly finished. I think there could be more changes to come. Obviously having Snappy, who was kind of brought into the team to in-game lead, isn't going to be doing that anymore, so what's his role in the team? There's a lot of question marks surrounding the OpTic team, and I think there's still changes to come, but this is actually a very exciting project now, because if MSL has got plenty of exciting players to work with now. It's got things to work with such as Config, Refresh. You got Nico, who's always been a good supportive element, and so OpTic is starting to look like a better team here, and I could probably see them going up above North very, very easily on the Danish sort of scale of teams.
The forZe as well have been one of those teams that have definitely amped the performance in the last couple months. They've been performing pretty well.
Definitely.
I think this matchup in general, although OpTic do appear on paper to be a very strong team, it's not going to be an easy walkover for them. You already see that with how the scoreline's developing. This buy round is very important. If they lose this, forZe walk away with at least 8 rounds on their T side. And although this map isn't, you know, massively CT-sided, that's not optimal. This is a very nice fake from forZe as well. They send 2 players towards B. Look at how quick OpTic are to spring into action, fully rotating. But hold on, guys. Did you drop the bomb? There's smokes A. What's going on? Almazar goes down, but the bomb will be planted. That kill could be just enough, though. With MSL finding that, it puts it into a 5v2, and this is very hard for forZe to hold on to, even with 2 scopes in play.
Yeah, this will be very difficult, but Jerry will start things off down the merry road. It's Config being fun. Zpar trying to hold the cross, and players coming towards him. That's a great pick on the op. Jerry looks for his action, but it's Nico to drop him. And now Zpar holds back towards the ramp. Flashbangs go over, and Zpar under so much pressure. The bomb's being stuck. He's lined it up perfectly, though. Refresh is going to be caught, and Zpar gets another one. One more player to find. Nico comes in for the kill, but there's no time for the defuse. He's got to run away, and Zpar has done it. What a clutch.
What a phenomenal round by forZe. So well played. The fake was beautiful. I think Almazar was a little over-aggressive going for that peek towards connector. Wasn't really needed at all, especially that they had smokes down to allow the bomb plant to come into play. But look, he made an attempt, he got shut down. I thought that was going to be the end of the round at that point, but it's perfectly executed. Z-Power on the AWP, such a strong element for forZe. And again, we talked about him yesterday, definitely one of the standout performers, or the standout performer for this team on a consistent basis. The dude is always near the top half of the scoreboard at least. And now 7 rounds on the board, like we said, this is probably going to be an 8th. MSL able to just about edge out his AWP alongside 4 Deagles, but with Z-Power winning that opening duel, things ain't looking too good for the CT side.
Now, Z-Power immediately finding success on the T side. Yesterday it was very much a story that he wasn't finding a lot of success on that T side, and it was the CT side where he had the big performances. So if he can carry this on over to the second half as well, this could look like a very scary prospect on the forward side of things. OpTic are going to have to try and fight away with that, but mid control is still theirs, but OpTic has taken away 1 kill. Looks for a little bit more, but Flip will say no, dropping him. And this should be forZe finding success here unless Nico pulls off an incredible play with that AWP. And Snappy, he's got the Deagle. Still, there's a chance for OpTic, but it comes down to Nico finding a kill or 2 here towards the A side.
Indeed, and there it is with 1 on the board already. The AWP in play, look, this is not a lost round. Nice nade. Jerry's in trouble, but the trade goes in. Z-Power, well, not even necessarily a trade. HP for a kill. As Jerry on 50 HP is still a massive contender in this round with the SG in play. The instant headshot is as possible as it is for Snappy. Coming in for a 1v3 with an AK-47. No kit to play with either. And at this point, a save isn't necessary. They will still be able to fight for the next round, regardless of whether he comes through or not. But that AK-47 can be very valuable to a CT player. He's going to try to drop as much as he can, force the reinvestment for forZe. He lands 1, but will he be able to get away with the AK is the real question. As it's being watched, Flitz sitting in the window waiting for him to leave connector. Jumps down, going aggressive, but Snappy's ready.
Z-Par got him through the wall. Oh no, I thought he had done enough to save that, but Z-Par with a shot right through the wall inside of the connector. Oh, that's going to be heartbreaking. Snappy doesn't quite get to save over, but they will still get a buy. It's looking okay. They haven't got kits, and I think that's the only problem. And they obviously haven't got a helmet, but it doesn't matter when you're going up against Ops and AKs and an SG. You're just going to get bopped straight away anyway if you get smacked on the face. So this is looking very good for forZe, and we kind of talked about their performances and how much they've kind of... Oh, again, Z-Par finding that kill towards mid. He's done that time and time again, and that's immediately a frag for forZe. And back to the talking point, forZe have had this sort of exponential rise. I think we first sort of seen it at the PLG. Yeah, that was it. I was there, but I still get confused between BGL
I can't remember the name.
and PLG, whatever.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I only worked 1 game, so at that PLG event, forZe looked very good. They were playing against Fnatic. They made it to the top 4, and a tweet from Peter from HLTV said, forZe have now been in the top 30 team for 3 months straight, and so that is definitely an incredible feat for them. And this could be their chance at sort of finding a way into a big LAN event if they can topple some of the teams in this tournament and get that spot at IEM Sydney. And now the kills keep coming through. It is a 2v3. Advantage siding with forZe, and the bomb site is theirs.
MSL spamming through the box, doesn't find a kill. Now Z-Power, even if he can't see you, whether it's through a wall or his eyes are blind, it doesn't matter. He finds the kills as MSL goes down. Snappy is left alive in a 1 versus 3, and he's trying to get the hell out of there, hightailing it. Flip gets taken down, hunting, and I think that's about it for the T side kills, you would imagine. Snappy just out of there, saving the AUG through to the next round, and that's their last chance. The last attempt to claim a 6th round on the board.
Yeah, Snappy walking away, has got the AUG in his hands. So carries that over. He will be able to save this time, Mitch. He doesn't get shot through the wall by Z-Par in the last few seconds. So he had Pretty scary flashbacks. But forZe on the T side of Mirage, they are currently up 9-5. A really good start from them. Again, it's the caveat that OpTic are a new team, perhaps not even in their final form. And so there is obviously going to be a little bit of teething pains and growing pains within that. And so there is a chance here for forZe, who have been a consistent team for the past 3 months and have all that consistency and good results, and this is their time to really find success against a bigger name, and they are doing so very well. 9-5 currently up on Mirage. This was their pick as well. forZe definitely picked this map. Just to go through the video, I don't think we've talked about it. It's Mirage, Inferno, and if we need it, it's Overpass as the third map decider. So this could get very interesting. I think Inferno will be a much better map for OpTic, because obviously if they're willing to pick a map, it's going to be a map they've had. What limited practice they've had, they're going to have done it on that map. So Inferno should be a good one to watch. As you get in towards this A execute, it's forZe trying to find a couple of kills to make this opening easier, but OpTic are going to play it on retake. Up towards the stairs, MSL looking over the top in towards Palace. It's execute with 25 seconds left, waiting for a push to come through. Snappy has found himself a frag, and they're going to go back towards the B bomb site. Interesting enough, it's MSL picking up a kill on Jerry, but this push is coming over towards B, and there's still 2 players there. This is going to be scary. 10 seconds? Not enough time. Surely forZe know this. They just have to sit and save. There's no way they get onto the site here. Config is there as well, alongside Snappy, and Config will be the man to end it, and that is going to be 6-9. Again, it was the last round of the half, so they had no option other than to push, but it was so indecisive, they left no time, and they surely knew there was no way into that bomb site there. So coming into the second half, currently Z Power is up 19-9. What a performance that is from him. Let's check his ADR, his more stats, as he is sitting on 121 ADR, a 2.11 KD, and 85 utility damage. So he's doing pretty consistently well across the whole board. Like he's top of the stats across everything. So apart from headshot percentage, but again, the caveat, he is using the AWP. So 2.11 KD, 121 ADR, 85 utility damage, and 12 enemies flashed. He is playing excellently, even as a supportive element, flashing his teammates in. But this pistol is crucially important for the OpTic. They're going to start to run in towards the site. There's Flit sitting here with the USP. We'll find MSL. And that's the bomb drop. Charging in now towards them. It's FaZe picking up a frag. And Nico's going to move his way in towards jungle. This is looking pretty good for both teams, although OpTic have got the bomb site. They haven't got the bomb planted, and Flit has just got himself a clean headshot on Config. Looks back up towards Palace, where Refresh is currently trying to fight him. And Refresh is going to try and edge his way out Palace, but he's going to rely on the help from Nico here as well. We'll start to slither his way close towards the site. CT's backing their way off of the ticket box, and they're going to try and go back in together. Bomb planted. Refresh currently still up towards Palace. Nico getting back towards ramp as safely as he can. But this is where those post plants are going to be most pivotal. Retake attempt can come through. They've got a smoke, a flash, and a defuse kit alive in this retake attempt alongside the man advantage. So this is looking good for forZe as they start to come on in. It will be Refresh sitting up towards Palace. Smoke will hit the bomb. He spots the head of Almirza, but it's Nico to peek first. Nico getting a double kill, and Jerry's on the bomb. It might not get it done here, though, as Jerry will pick up 1 kill. Well, the Refresh is hiding behind Ninja. Perfectly played here from OpTic in the end. And Refresh winning another clutch here. It's the pistol for OpTic. A much needed pistol round as well.
Yeah, closing in that gap is just a necessity at this point. You cannot allow forZe to get any further ahead. This on the T side is where I expect to see OpTic starting to ramp up that performance, but forZe is still going to be a strong contender here. A tac comes into play, but the T's want to decide exactly where they want to focus this round on. And indeed, you've got to make sure you disperse your economy properly. You've got only 2 SMGs in play at the moment, which I think is the optimal number. You don't want to be going up to 3 or 4. That's where things become a little bit difficult to really get the value for the weapons you've purchased. Refresh already has armor. But it looks like a third SMG is to be. The MAC-10's coming into play alongside a UMP. Now, they'll get a lot of money farmed if they can limit the kills in this round entirely to SMG frags. But even still, they are at a bit of a loss overall in what they're investing if they want to, force up in the next round and take a full AK fight. Because, of course, forZe are going to have a full buy. They'll have M4s, AUGs, whatever they want to work with for round number 18. And OpTic deploying the matchmaking strat here to rush towards B. With the SMGs, why ever not? No better weapons for it.
Well, Fizzcrack does connect on a config. The frags come back and forth. It is Nico and MSL all up against Jerry. I mean, it's not much of a challenge here. He's only got a USP. It's like having a sumo wrestler go up against a skinny kid from your neighborhood. And it's Nico dropping Jerry, throwing him outside the ring, and bam. That's gotta hurt.
Like a fight between me and you, Dinko.
You're the sumo wrestler.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah.
I thought it was
a physique like an athlete.
Well, absolutely. I can compete in some sports.
It kind of reminds me of the time I was playing rugby when I was a kid. And I went up against an older team and I just got absolutely destroyed. It felt like I was dead.
Yeah.
I just got hit into the cold, hard mud. I'm dead.
I'm dead. Just go on without me, guys. Leave me. Oh, Z-Power. I mean, we shouldn't even be surprised that he's opening up the round with the AWP in hand. Jerry on a scope as well. Goodbye, Nico. The T's trapped in towards the ramp. They're running into impending doom. The bomb is dropped, so they have to push forward. As they do, MSL picks up 2. Very nice opening frags. Still a man disadvantage to work with, but they've reclaimed the bomb and gotten the hell out of that kill zone. That could have been a slaughter. Luckily, the Butcher's out of town. Caught behind a smoke in the CT spawn. And as Z-Power goes in for the re-peek, he notices there's nobody here. OpTic making their way in towards the B bomb site.
And that signals to Almirza that he's got to get over towards B. He's got to wait for these two players to come in towards the site. And as they ready up, it's MSL charging in first. He's going to be the entry force, but they have evaded the one player there. Perhaps they don't know that Almirza's here on the bomb site. They've neglected to check his position. He's just let them walk on by. MSL finished off, and Almirza looking for the second kill. Snappy finally picks him up, but Z-Power able to get a kill on the op. 10-8. Performance is looking pretty good for forZe and a little bit shaky from OpTic. I think there's two elements here that has resulted in success for the Russians.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point, forZe, with a 10-8 lead, you gotta start to really just put 100% into these rounds, right? 10-8, it's close. It's hard to call a massive favorite at the moment, but with an 11th probably built up, assuming OpTic do not decide to go for like a crazy buy here. 11-8 is where OpTic need to win that buy round. If they don't do it, and forZe walk away with a huge lead, and it becomes a really uphill battle. And although, sure, the new economy system will allow you to start building up rounds from behind a little bit easier, or at least make it harder to just be instant reset and start losing rounds or giving over free ones, still not a thing you want to be relying on. It's hard because you can't look at OpTic right in general and say, you know, they're like, we don't have any sort of statistics on how they play the map,
not really.
Mirage in general, or any map.
I think you just kind of got to take two things, right? You've got to take into consideration what is MSL traditionally being good at in-game leading on, and also what has this team been playing recently. And even at that, obviously, it's going to be a little bit different because MSL wants to bring a whole new system and he'll want to implement that immediately. They've got a different roster. They've lost Yugi as well, and Opera is generally a huge part of your whole setup. And Snappy's here as well. I guess Snappy can sort of assist MSL at the start here. You know, tell them little hints here, whether at the start of what we've been working on, what's been working, what hasn't. And that's a good start here from Almazer. Definitely not working here early for Config. Snappy coming in with the UMP. Zepar able to find himself a kill as well, and a shot from Almazer. It's all on Nico. 1v4. Almazer gets himself a triple kill, and Nico has a 1v4 with the Tech 9. FaceCrack will send him to the grave. It's 11-8 here, and forZe are looking indomitable.
Well, indeed they are, but for how much longer? They have got a little bit of money in the back pocket. Do they invest into this round? Probably not. They're going to have an MP9 on Jerry, which gives them the chance to make some serious dosh, as OpTic should also be keeping what they have. The majority Glocks in play, a Deagle and a P250 as we enter round number 20. It's not the full buy that we'd anticipated, a little bit too heavy of an investment previously. And without the victory there, this becomes a pretty shaky situation for them. forZe in general, a pretty T-sided team on this map. Pick up like 40% CT rounds, but they're walking away with a pretty nice bonus. Jerry, MP9, 4 heads, and a lot of money.
I think that's the biggest part, right? It just picks up so much cash. Currently $7.5 thousand in that bank account. And Jerry's just going to stick by it. Why not? It's his trusty little hot knife he's going to melt the butter with.
Well, that's 7.5k after reinvesting into utility. You know, he came into this round with 8 in the back pocket. Things are looking phenomenal for forZe because they're playing this round as a bonus round. If they win this one, I'd venture to say it's basically over because there's too many full buys then for OpTic to fight against to bring themselves back into it. They'd also probably have to take an eco in the next round, so it'd be 14-8, and then forZe would have 2 to 3 full buys in a row when they start losing rounds. So it's a scary prospect. OpTic have to make it work here. 11-8 was where I expected to see their full buy, and that's where things would have had to have stopped. 12-8's pushing a little bit further, but it's still not beyond redemption just yet. But this is certainly the home stretch for forZe. Finding this bonus round puts them as massive favorites.
Yeah, that's a great flash buy. Zepar probably could have picked up that early kill there for forZe, but the flash will take him away from the angle, and that's where OpTic can start to take control towards short. Zepar is going to be under a lot of pressure as he's stuck with the AWP inside a window, and players coming in from behind him. There's Nico up towards the ventilation shaft. He will start to break that, and as soon as he does, Zepar's got to hit a nutty vertical 180 headshot, or just a kill at least. Oh, he's going to run away, and that is death. He goes towards window, information gathered, Nico able to peek. But elsewhere, FaceCrack had already picked himself up at kills, so it's still even here in a 4v4, but as soon as I say that, Config gets himself a headshot.
The 3v3 in normal circumstances is a T-sided affair, but you got to remember, forZe came into this with a bit of a bonus in mind. They didn't have a lot to work with. They're getting the damage done. One more kill would be nice for them, but Nico says no. Takes Jerry down, and it's 12-9. OpTic win out a round that they had to, but again, here's the problem with allowing forZe to build up so many rounds, pretty much uncontested. They now have a full buy coming out here. AWP easily bought over. A CT timeout just to organize the economy a little bit, get the house in order, and make sure that they've got the best possible foundations, financial foundations set up for the next couple of rounds. You don't want to be investing too heavily, but they go straight in for it. Almazar takes an AWP as well. The double op setup, they're going to go for it here and try to push themselves onto the home stretch. Because winning this round, again, OpTic would not have a lot to work with. They start to lose a little bit of their loss bonus. And they get staggered in the loss bonus at least. And with 4 AK-47s and an AWP in play, alongside the utility investment, it's cost them a lot. They don't really have the money to get a convincing full buy for the next round if they lose this one. And Jerry has an AUG in front of him as well, so it's going to be a fully scoped lineup. 3 AUGs and 2 ops. The ranged battle certainly in favor of forZe on paper.
Well, coming into this, immediately an advantage picked up for the CT side. They will just hang on to it here. And the bomb already towards under. That's Nico, Config carrying that. Snappy is dropped. And already, mid control has been taken. Config and Nico inside of middle, but Config will hit the headshot onto FaceCrack. Man advantage still with forZe. But a good comeback there from Config. He puts it within touching distance, and he looked for a little bit more, but it's refresh dropping. A lot more pressure on Config and Nico to try and get this done. And I believe Jerry has just spotted Nico towards the bottom of the connector. Flick goes for the push, successful in finding it. All on config, 1 versus 4. He will look on towards the site, and Jerry will pick him up. It's 13-9. I think Mirage is starting to look like a done deal at this point, Mitch. It's going to be hard for OpTic to find a way back into it without any practice, without a game plan, without a structure. And I think, you know, forZe have just looked like a very good Mirage team. And you can't expect a team with no practice to beat a team like forZe. They are an excellent team. A lot of people may sleep on them because you haven't seen them perform at big events, but they have a lot of firepower and a lot of skill, and the structure's there as well.
For sure, like these guys have the individuality, they've got the team play, they've got the experience, the stats to back it up. Like you said, 3 months top 30. From the second they got there, they were not inching out, not giving up their spot. They worked too goddamn hard for that. Push coming in, OpTic trying to get a bomb plant. It's going to be difficult with the bomb on the floor. Picked up though. He should be able to get a plant here for Nico as nobody's there in the CT spawn to contest. Indeed, he will give his life for it. A martyr for the cause. Although the defuse comes through, the bomb being planted gives OpTic a little bit of extra money. And that's all they've ever wanted. Ever since they were young terrorist boys. They wanted to have AK-47s in their hands alongside an op, but now they get exactly that.
Well, this is do or die time for OpTic Gaming. They have the weapons in play this time. AWP for MSL. You'll rock the big green gun over on OpTic. They've got the utility as well. All of forZe, they're going to wield as many scopes as possible. The only player without a scoped weapon is Flit, and he's got himself an AK-47. It'll be the early challenge towards middle coming in from MSL, but no one granting him an early fight. FaceCrack is the closest by, but he's still hiding in connector passively. They are going to allow North, should I say OpTic, to have control inside of middle. I've said that. It says config and MSL being back together is giving me the old flashbacks, but the early kills coming in from FaceCrack. Snappy wants to go on a bit of a flight through the ramp, and he's got to come on through, but it's Almazer picking up config. MSL and Snappy trying to get it done. FaceCrack with another kill towards the connector. It's just getting picked apart here. OpTic finished again. Only 1 kill came through.
And 1 just is not enough. At this point, economy damage doesn't matter a damn to OpTic. It's all about winning rounds. They need 6 in a row. That is a tall order for any team on any map. The T side of Mirage, not necessarily going to be a limiting factor for it, but certainly forZe will be. Though tool the economy of OpTic coming in with 2 SMGs and limited utility across the board. As they move towards a little bit of early mid control, they're going to be running into FaceCrack. He spotted them out, gave the information to Flit. He was up close and personal. The flashbang, though, from Jerry, that's going to be a very swift round. It catches 3 players off guard, allows FaceCrack to sweep them up in middle. I think it caught his teammate, too. I think Flit got team flashed, but it didn't matter. In the end, all the T's died. Yeah,
it was a really solid performance across the board there from forwards. Jerry and Z-Par topped the scoreboard. 25 and 13 on Z-Par, and below that Jerry on 24 and 17. And it's good to see Config back at the top of the scoreboard. MSL, obviously, with a brand new roster here, hasn't had much practice, but we'll see what they can do on Inferno, which is coming up right after the break. Make sure you stick around, because we're coming back with some more Counter-Strike action at the GG.BET Sydney Invitational.
CSBet.GG guarantees to show the actual drop rate with precision to the hundreds. Find the best skins only in cases at CSBet.GG.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.Money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.